has family, it has relationships, it has nature, it has beauty, it has all of these other things that rock and roll is part of, but rock and roll is its own thing, and it's an animal all to itself. So I was singing about rock and roll. But for rock and roll, if that's all you are, and that's all you want to do, exploding is not bad. But there's a lot more to life than just rock and roll.
Neil Young is a passionate man. He loves his music, but realizes it can't be the only thing in his life. He's dedicated to personal causes like protecting the environment. He's also passionate when it comes to his relationships. He's had some high-profile love connections in his time and others that went under the radar. Keep watching as Neil Young confesses who was the love of his life. Neil's early relationships. It took Neil some time before he found the right woman, just as it took time for him to reach the pinnacle of fame. He had plenty of chances for trial and error along the way. Neil married his first wife, restaurant owner Susan Acevedo, in December of 1968. It lasted 2 years. She filed for divorce in October of 1970. Neil was in a relationship with actress Carrie Snodgrass from 1970 to 75. He allegedly wrote the song A Man Needs a Maid after seeing her in the 1970 film Diary of a Mad Housewife. They met soon after, and she moved into his ranch in Northern California. They had a son named Zeke on September 8, 1972, who was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. Pegi Morton. Neil met Pegi Morton when she was working as a waitress at a diner near his ranch. He was immediately smitten and would repeatedly order food just to watch her walk across the floor. The story of his infatuation inspired his 1992 song Unknown Legend. Their relationship was also one of his most well-known. Neil and Pegi were married in August of 1978. They had 2 children together, Ben and Amber. Ben was diagnosed with cerebral palsy and Amber with epilepsy. Neil later said he was inspired by his son. As he put it,
Ben has taught me that you never give up. You can't say, this is too hard. It can't be too hard. There's so many kids with challenges that are so great, and yet they just keep trying. So if I come up against something that's hard to deal with, I can handle it.
Neil and Pegi also founded the Bridge School together. It was a way to help children like Ben and Zeke overcome their unique challenges. The couple funded it using money from a 1986 benefit concert. Many of Neil's famous friends joined him on stage. They continued to hold an annual fundraising concert until 2016. Famous faces who made appearances included members of Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, as well as Bruce Springsteen, Tom Petty, Don Henley, Willie Nelson, Elton John, and Simon & Garfunkel. Pegi and Neil were also frequent musical collaborators. She'd occasionally sing backup for him and was with him when he performed at the 1994 Academy Awards. They brought Ben with them everywhere they went. Pegi eventually became a solo artist. Neil wasn't jealous, but supported her there. He helped her get off her feet and release her first few solo efforts. They seemed like the perfect team, and many thought they'd last forever. But they were unfortunately only another example of a seemingly unbreakable connection with small cracks beneath the surface. Divorcing and losing Pegi. Pegi and Neil divorced in 2014 after 36 years of marriage. The news shocked the world because the relationship seemed so solid. Neil had apparently already moved on to another woman, Daryl Hannah, months before the divorce paperwork was finalized. This barely gave Pegi enough time to process what had happened. Pegi said that the end of the marriage was difficult for her and the children. Constant media attention due to Neil's celebrity status made it even worse. As she said, quote, "Everybody knew what was going on in my family. It was just kind of awful to have it be all over everywhere." The pain was evident in Pegi's album Lonely in a Crowded Room, but it became even more apparent in her last album, Raw. She said she never expected Neil would want to split. The songs on the album were her way of going through the stages of grief over the relationship. The divorce process was also difficult because of their high net worth. Splitting their valuable assets wasn't an easy process. Pegi did get to keep the Broken Arrow Ranch where they used to live. The breakup was also about as amicable as it could be. They never contacted each other on purpose, but were cordial when they ran into each other by accident. She saw him at a charity event for the Bridge School in 2016 and remained cordial. Quote, "Take the high road, that's my approach," as she put it. Their children also refused to take sides. Amber Jean remained neutral and wouldn't even listen to post-breakup music from her parents in case it would sway her. The lack of animosity in this split was important. It helped everyone come together when tragedy eventually struck. Pegi died of cancer at age 66 on January 1st, 2019. Neil refused to use the tragic event as an opportunity to reveal dark secrets or put down his ex. He did the exact opposite. He wrote a touching tribute praising what a wonderful person and mother she was. He also used lyrics from his song Such a Woman, which he wrote about her, to honor her on his website. Amber Jean used her artistic talents to honor her mother as well. She created a special exhibition called Pegi's Garden. His current wife, Daryl Hannah. Daryl Hannah is an actress starring in films like Splash, Roxanne, Steel Magnolias, and the Kill Bill films. The famous actress was linked to many famous faces such as David Blaine, Val Kilmer, and Jackson Browne. Her most well-known relationship was with John F. Kennedy Jr. They dated on and off before officially splitting in 1994. Daryl was first described as Neil's friend in a 2013 story about them filming a documentary together. She directed and wrote the 2018 film Paradox. He praised her as a real artist, calling her a true professional and a joy to work with. Rumors began to spread they may be more than friends soon after. They were spotted at many protests together, including one at the Keystone XL pipeline in Washington, D.C. They officially revealed they were dating in 2014. They were spotted together only 2 months after his divorce from Pegi, and not everyone was happy about it. He admits, quote, "When we get together, even some of my good friends were negative about it, and I could never understand it. She is a wonderful human being, and I'm very lucky to know her. That's all I was thinking." That may have been why Neil and Daryl eloped. Ron Fugari, a boat captain in the San Juan Islands, said he was there. They had a small initial gathering on Neil's 1913 vintage boat, the W.N. Ragland, on July 27, 2018. The couple then had a second ceremony for 100 family and friends at the Santa Margarita Ranch in San Luis Obispo, California. No one knew about it until she posted an Instagram photo of an owl saying it was watching over them. The caption, "Love and love only," referenced one of Neil's songs. He confirmed the marriage on his website in October of 2018. The world eventually came around to the relationship. Many of their famous friends chimed in to congratulate them. Patricia Arquette said, quote, "You are the whisperer to all the animals. Birds and bees follow you and protect you. What a beautiful time of love and magic." Guitarist Mark Miller said on Facebook, "Congratulations to Daryl Hannah and Neil Young on their wedding today. May they have a long and happy relationship." Their lives today. Daryl became a stepmother to Ben and Amber. The family has all attended film festivals together and seem to be getting along well. Neil admits she's helping him to grow physically stronger in his old age. As he put it, quote, "She's got a really intense physical regimen she follows, and I crawl along behind her. We do Pilates twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, and get in the pool with weights. We have routines we do in the pool, a lot of stuff together like that. There's always something." That work can only help a musician dealing with the strain of touring. It also helps him overcome early illnesses. He grew up with a bad case of polio. He said it almost split the 2 sides of his brain in 2, and exercise is a major way he combats it. Daryl has been open about her own struggles with Asperger's syndrome. She said,
"Since I was a baby, I always rocked. I always, would get hypnotized by fires. And I wouldn't say I was introverted. I was more out there somewhere. I was off in the dream world all the time and was not very communicative."
She gets nervous around large crowds, and being Neil's wife doesn't lessen her celebrity. The couple supports each other and their children no matter what. They both feel like they've found the one they're looking for. He says, quote, "We were very lucky to have found each other. I'm eternally thankful for the opportunity to share my life with her, and she feels the same." Now it's time to hear from you. Who's your favorite rock couple? Let us know in the comments section below.